Now, as major car manufacturers rush to meet government demands for a future without petrol, owners of classic cars are watching nervously. Enthusiasts are worried that the day will come when they won't be able to source fuel for their cherished vehicles. In the United States, a number of firms are springing up, offering the chance for owners to convert their vintage classics to electric. Our US correspondent, Greg Milam, reports.
Inside the garage of every classic car enthusiast sits a prized possession. Often gleaming and stylish, a piece of history with, usually, that unmistakable sound. The silence of Ian Corlett's Porsche isn't surprising, because there is no petrol engine anymore. Instead, an electric motor in the back and a stack of batteries in the front. As governments push for a zero-emissions future, classic car owners are wondering if this is what the post-petrol world might look and sound like.
In my opinion, if you, like me, love vintage cars but really don't want to deal with the mechanics of it, this is bulletproof. It's kind of like the vintage car for people who like brand new cars. It checks all the boxes for me.
Ian's part of a movement. This California company's leading the way in converting classics to electric. The motors often coming from Teslas that have met a sticky end.
We've got a 1970 BMW here, and the motor was spent. It's not putting out the power that it used to, so we have a used Tesla drive unit in here that we took out of a car that crashed.
It's not cheap, and here at least there is a years-long waiting list. The initial aim of converting things like this Volkswagen pickup wasn't about saving the planet.
We're here to save the cars. We're an automotive company, so we're not actually in the business of saving the environment or producing something. Now, being environmentally and socially responsible, we're putting out a product that has a high recycled content in it, a very low carbon footprint, and we're essentially taking motors and batteries out of electric cars that didn't previously have a purpose, right? So by mating those to the classic cars, we kind of fixed two problems at once.
But they faced opposition from purists for fundamentally altering classic cars.
The museums are full. They really don't want another Volkswagen. I'm sorry, that might be controversial, it might upset some people, but let's take care of the guys that really want to enjoy driving these cars, right? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what we want to do.
Those museums also feature the long history of electric cars. At the Peterson in Los Angeles, one of the largest car museums in the world, authenticity is everything.
When you start, I'll say, tampering with the essence of a gasoline-powered vehicle, with essentially its heartbeat, its engine, its motive power, then it diminishes the car. I just personally hope that the people who decide to do that to their vehicles do it with cars that are not of surpassing importance as original, authentic vehicles. It's something you're going to want to leave that authenticity and that originality intact.
It's estimated there are some 5 million classic cars in America alone, and there are some big questions ahead. How will classics like Ian's Porsche cope in a world of self-driving cars, for example? How will these gems of the past survive in a future that's approaching fast? Greg Milam, Sky News, Los Angeles.